Let's talk for a few minutes about something is in your eye. We know that Jesus said on the Sermon on the Mount, Matthew 7, verses 3 through 5, and why do you look at the speck in your brother's eye, but do not consider the plank in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, let me remove the speck from your eye, and look, a plank is in your own eye? Hypocrite, first remove the plank from your own eye, and then you'll see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. So the question might become, should you listen to a hypocrite with a plank in his eye? So the verse was intended to make the reader fix his own problems before trying to correct others. But we often maybe try to use the verse for the opposite direction. It doesn't say that the person being corrected should ignore the hypocrite's message. We often attack that messenger bringing us bad news, if you will, or trying to correct us instead of trying to listen to what they say. So let's look at a verse that shows even if someone's preaching for the wrong reason, or maybe it's coming from who we consider the wrong person, good can still come from it, and we should still listen here. Philippians 1, verses 15 through 18, some indeed preach Christ even from envy and strife, some also from goodwill. The former preach Christ from selfish ambition, not sincerely, supposing to add affliction to my chains, but the latter out of love, knowing that I'm appointed for the defense of the gospel. What then? Only that in every way, whether in pretense or in truth, Christ is preached. And in this I rejoice, yes, and will rejoice. We see Paul saying, some people aren't necessarily preaching for the right reason. They're maybe trying to cause him trouble or whatever. But he says good will come from it as long as Christ is preached and it's the truth. So here, even if someone correcting you is a hypocrite, if what they say is the truth, we need to listen. You can let that sink in for a second. Even if someone correcting you is a hypocrite, if what they say is the truth, you need to listen. And think about it. Romans 3, verses 22 and 23, for there's no difference. For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. No one perfect, if you will, other than Jesus, is ever going to correct you. All have sinned. If you think about it, again, we ask the question, should you listen to the hypocrite? Well, we should listen. Everyone who will ever correct you has done wrong themselves. And if you think about it, your own mother wasn't even an exception, was she? She had sin in her life too. Need to listen when we're being corrected if what we hear is the truth. It makes me think of Jesus here, Matthew 11:15, and there were quite a few other instances where Jesus said, he who has ears to hear, let him hear. He'd say if the hypocrite's correcting you, and he's right, if you have ears, hear. Versus, I'm not going to listen because you did this or you did that at some time in the past. So again, let's go back to that main purpose of the verse before we leave. The main purpose of that verse was if you have a problem, fix it before you go trying to correct other people.